Many South Africans might not know the name Sheldon van der Linde, but he and his family have a rich history in motorsport. This past weekend saw him on the podium for the first time at the German Touring Car Masters, or DTM. Justin Ford, our reporter, caught up with him.
21-year-old Sheldon van der Linde, like many motorsport professionals, started at a very young age. In 2016, he took his way to Europe, where he decided to pursue his career, something that runs in the family.
The Johannesburg-born driver started with go-karts.
I think every young racing driver starts in karting, then moves himself into cars later on. I started cars when I was 14 years old. I didn't even have a driver's license. So that's quite ironic, I find. And then in 2016, I made my move to Europe, as you mentioned, for the Audi Sport TT Cup in my first year of Europe. So everything's been happening very quickly, I have to say.
South Africa enjoys a big following in motorsport. The challenge does exist for future drivers wanting to make it big.
The biggest underlying factor there is obviously the cost of the sport. Unfortunately, coming from South Africa as well, we have to admit that our economy is obviously not as strong as it needs to be. And therefore, it's very tough for South African racing drivers to make it over. We were very blessed in that we had a lot of partners and sponsors helping us on our way to the top.
Growing up in a family that's always been in racing was a boost for the BMW driver.
It's probably the most important part of why I started this career. I started with my grandfather a long time ago, and then my dad went on to kind of emulate what his dad did back in the day. And I did the same with my dad. So I think if it wasn't for them, obviously it wouldn't be here. Wouldn't be at the racetrack from, I think, 3 or 4 years old, watching my dad race for BMW in South Africa at the time. How the whole thing happened is obviously very special.
At the beginning of 2019, it was confirmed that he would be the first South African DTM driver. Fast forward to 2020, and he's now the first South African winner.
On that day, I was super calm. I started from P40 on the grid, so personally, I didn't really think there was a lot in it. Our pace in the car was absolutely insane in that stint. The guy said on the radio, "You're leading the race now." And I was like, how the hell is that possible? From P14 on the grid that I'm now leading a DTM race. And even then, I was super calm.
He has also vowed to continue flying the flag for South Africans.
I want to thank everyone in South Africa for the amazing support that they've shown over the last week. I have so many messages from everyone, and a big heartfelt thank you from my side as well for all the support, and I hope to continue making you guys proud in the next few races.
Van der Linde acknowledges the sacrifice required to reach the pinnacle of any sport and encourages youngsters not to be afraid to reach their goals. Justin Ford, Cape Town.